everybody, it's Sam at Mixed Up Craft. Thank you for watching my tutorial today. I'm going to be showing you how to make this really lovely little case to hold a mini bottle of whatever it is that you desire. So I've got this sparkling rosé in this one purely because one, I like rosé and the people that I will be giving this to too, but also the colours are just perfect for Valentine's and they match these papers really well. So yeah, this is a standard mini bottle size, so they're all, I think this is actually maybe even slightly larger, only by a margin from the like wine ones. This is more of a champagne style bottle. The wine ones tend to be a little bit smaller, so they will definitely fit in this fine. So really lovely. I've got this holder here and it holds in really well. You can literally hold it like that and it's fine. This here is the most important part. That is what is actually keeping your bottle in place and stopping it. You can see it moves, but it will not fall out. And you can also pop a couple of glue dots on the bottom and that will just keep it secure as well, but that's not going anywhere. And it's, you know, lovely. They make really nice little favours at the table as well. And as always, with all the projects that I've shared, although I've done them as a Valentine's theme, this will work perfectly at Christmas, for birthdays, for weddings, all sorts of things. So yeah, really nice. So just bring it up a bit closer there so you can see. When I've got a branded product, I was about to say project, branded product. Whenever you've got, you know, there's the brand underneath this, but I've popped a little heart there. There may be a colour on here that might not work. So say for example, this is maybe a blue label. You could cover the whole label with, you know, your papers that you've got. So it's a nice way to, you know, you can, you know, jazz up the bottles as well to match what it is that you're, you know, using. So the stickers here as well, I'll show you that in a moment. And the papers are the free downloads from the Trimcraft, which is the craft blog. So yeah, I've got a little bit of mirrored rose gold cardstock at the bottom there. And then I've used eyelets. They do help a lot on this because there is a bit of weight, so it does take that pressure off of those kind of maybe weaker spots when you've added your hole punch. So yeah, really cute. So let's pop that one to one side. I've already got my bottle here. This is what I mean. So here was where the company brand was along the bottom here as well, but I'm going to be using the heart papers this time. So I've just popped one there and I've covered that one again, just using some of my glue. So again, just, you know, makes it all look nice when you put it all together. Okay, so you're going to need, this is the acetate that I've used. So I've got two. This one's the one I've used for this project. So it's UK Card Crafts A4 clear acetate. It's 140 microns thick, and that was fine because it is just really, you can see there, it's just the, you know, the bit on the front, the casing. So there isn't really any kind of pressure on that as such. So yeah, you can, you know, pick up acetate on eBay, Amazon as well. Just look for 140 microns, that's what I've used. But this is www.ukcardcrafts.com. I can't remember how much I paid, it wasn't a lot, and you got 5 sheets. So that's that one. And the other one I've used a lot as well is the Crafter's Companion, but I did have two. One was heat resistant and one was normal. So I can't remember whether this was the heat resistant or not. But again, this feels about the same as that one, but it doesn't tell you anything. Unfortunately, once you lose the bit inside, there's nothing on the bit here. So, but yeah, that's the acetate. Then again, you've probably seen this a lot now, but if you haven't and you're new to the channel, this is the rose gold of the Dovecraft mirrored card collection. So there's silver, there's holographic, there's gold, and then rose gold. So I'm using that one today. And you get 10 sheets there. It's about £2.50, so it's a really good value for money. Again, all these links will be in my blog. For the Be Mine sticker, I picked these up from Hobby Craft. I always get the two, Hobby Base and Hobby Craft, so I always check Hobby Craft, and these were 50p, bargain. So you get 4 there, so I picked up 2 packets because I just thought they'd be really handy, and that's obviously what I've stuck up there, and it matched the papers perfectly, even though they're not part of the same thing. So yeah, so that's that one. Okay, so I've got some ribbon, I've got my eyelets here, I've got some white ones which I'll be using. For the actual kind of little tray at the bottom that it sits in, I've reinforced it because that does help give it some strength. So this is a piece of the 300 GSM smooth cardstock from Paper Mill Direct that I'm using, and it's 7 3/4 of an inch squared. Okay, so you need one piece there. Then I've got this piece which is going to be the curved part at the top of the case, or the carrier, and that's 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, now I've realised when I cut it, my direction is going to be wrong for this piece, but I'm not bothered, and I'm not wasting this cardstock. So you'll see there my hearts are going to be obviously in the wrong direction, but it doesn't matter. That's what's going to be on the top. this is the strip here on the back. So this is this piece here. So you want to make sure your pattern is obviously facing the right way. This is 2 1/4. So the width of it needs to have the pattern paper in, you know, the right direction. Then that is by 8 1/4, one piece. And then you'll need the acetate the same as that. I haven't cut mine yet, but you want a piece of acetate the same as that one. So again, 2 1/4 by 8 1/4. And then to decorate the bottom of the tray, I've got these 4 here. And then you need 4 pieces here, and the mirrored cardstock size is 2 1/8 in width. It's slightly just shy. If you're using a trimmer, just come in just under. It just gives you a nicer border. And then that's by 1 1/4. And then the piece on top is just under, again, 1 1/8. But 1 1/8 will be okay. But if you're using your trim and you can go just under, then that would be a little bit better because it just gives you a nicer border. And that's by 1 7/8 inch. And that's the smaller pattern paper. Again, you need 4 of each of those sizes. Okay, so with your base, or the piece that you're going to use for the actual case that it sits in, so on any side, so pick one of your 7 3/4 inch sides, and you want to score at 1 3/8 inch, 2 3/4 inch, 5 inches, and 6 3/8 inch. Then rotate the cardstock and repeat that again. So it'll be 1 3/8 inch, 2 3/4 inch, 5 inches, and 6 3/8 inch. Okay, so that's all the scoring. Oh, there's my acetate. Do you know what? I was sat here when I was just going through those measurements and I thought, I'm sure I've got the acetate. I'm sure I cut it, but obviously I didn't. There it is. Knew I had. Right. Let's get rid of this one. So then you just want to burnish all of those score lines. Because remember, this is going to be a reinforced little tray. So just do all of those lines. Okay, and then any side, it doesn't matter, you will have 4 squares in each corner. So 4 there, and then 4 there, and then you'll have 2 rectangles, okay? So what you want to do is where you got the 4 squares is cut nice and neatly down the 2 of them. So you go into your second score line. That's your first score line, there's your second. And then again, you want to go really neatly, because you will see some of this. So now you just cut down and just separated those 4 squares, okay? Then go along past the rectangle piece, and you're going to do the same with these ones here. So that one and that one. Okay, so now you'll have these pieces. So you just cut away all of them really. Rotate the whole thing around and do exactly the same on this side. So again, okay, so that's what you should have. Then you're going to remove the outer ones completely. So that one and that one. Okay, so you'll be left with the 2 squares and the 2 rectangles. So rotate again and remove that one. And that one. You can discard those pieces there. So now that's what you should have. Alright, and then with all of the outer ones here, you're going to remove the top square only. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. Again, get rid of those pieces. So now that's what you should have. Then you want to tidy up. So all of the outer areas, you just want to take little wedges off. So that one, this will just make the whole fold much nicer. And then these are now, these squares will become tabs to glue the actual inside of the box together. So you want to take a slightly bigger wedge off of these ones, and it will just stop you having anything kind of poking out the tops. Again, rotate the whole thing like so, and then I just need to take a little bit off of these ones. You don't want to take as much. So you're touching all of the sides apart from these inner ones here. And this is how you make a reinforced box, and it's exactly the same principle, you know, for any size reinforced box that you do. you'll cut away exactly the same pieces that I've just shown you here. So that's now what you should have. All right. Now these 4 squares here is where we're going to add our glue and stick it all together. So again, I'm going to use my Tombow. Now this is the sticky tacky glue, and again, I always love using it as long as you don't go too far to the edges, and if you do go right to the edge, you only want the smallest amount. So now I'm going very sparingly right up to that score line, so that's actually going to be the main joint for the box. Okay, and then you're just going to bring that one down, bring this side up, and create a really nice right angle. Just stick that down, and there you can see now already how quickly the shape of your little kind of tray or box starts to come together. So then I'm going to go to the next one, again with a very thin amount, that one down, inside, and again bring up that next one. Okay, so there's one of our sides. Then you can pop it down and just use your bone folder there just to smooth that all out. Another thing as well, we call them bone folders because that's what they were called many, many years ago when bone was used. Now that bone isn't used anymore, unfortunately the name is still stuck, and crafting companies still sell and advertise them as bone folders. Therefore, people that buy them call them bone folders. So I think I'm going to try and consciously say Teflon folder or bamboo folder. But if I say bone folder, I don't mean that it is physically bone, it's just what they're called in the industry. Because I've had a few people send me messages, very polite messages, but people saying, oh, I don't like that you're using a bone folder, or you know, just correcting me in some way, and that's fine. I'm happy to receive these you know, comments, but you know, the crafting industry I think maybe needs to also change how they advertise and sell some of these products that they sell, because yeah, you're right, they're no longer bone and we don't use them as, you know, that. So yeah, so that's Teflon, that's bamboo, but I've been saying bone folder for many, many years, so it's going to take a while I think, but anyway. Right, so you've seen me just fold all of those sides in. Now we need to put glue on these 4 here. So again, like so, fold it right over, and then with your Teflon folder, I'm going to just spread that out and get a really nice flat surface inside. I've got a really nice side there to my base, and again, I don't need loads of glue because as long as it just kind of sits in that, you know, inside there, but it does really allow you to get a really nice shape to your little tray. So I'm just going to do the other 2. Okay, so now we have our tray. So next we can decorate it because it's easy to do that before you start adding in the other pieces. So that's now when you need these bits here that I'd already prepared. So I've already popped my backing on, so I'm just going to take this one off. Obviously you'll stick the other ones on top as well, which I've already done, but make sure if you've got a print that is facing up the right way, and just sit them down, and you should have a real nice little border. In fact, I'll go that way first so I can get it nice and centered, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on all the other sides. Okay, and then again inside I can just make sure that's nice and stuck down. And again, by adding that now, that's become a solid. So really, really nice, strong little base there. Okay, so now you want to take your piece of acetate and your patterned piece. Obviously one's going to go on the front and one's going to go on the back. And first of all, we want to add our hole punched holes. So these ones here. So the back one, I can't remember what the measurement was that I done. Yes, 6 inches. Okay. So take the acetate away for the minute with your ruler from the bottom up, and grabbing a pencil, I'm just going to pop a little marker there because I can rub that out, and then just pop one on the other side here towards the other side, like so. And then I came in about 1/2 inch. Just move there. So then coming in 1/2 inch and just pop a little mark, and again on the other side there. Okay, so where those 2 pencil marks are, I'm just going to grab my punch. Why did that one not go on? So there you can see my 2 hole punched holes, and then I'm just going to pop this over my acetate, make sure it's all perfectly lined up. Really push down so your acetate doesn't move, and just punch through again. It doesn't matter if you don't have the screw punch that I've got, you'll be able to use a normal hole punch and just go in from the side there. But now I've got my holes perfect to be able to wrap my ribbon through. Next, decide if you've got a preference to a front or a back. So I'm going to have that as my, got 2 hearts there, and now I've got that heart there, I'll keep that one. So this piece here with the pattern facing you is going to slide in. That should be really snug. You want it to really, you know, just slip in there, okay? If it's a little bit, if you're thinking no, it's going to buckle a little bit, then just take a slither off the side or just down inside there. But that fits in really snug, okay? So with that in there, right at the bottom, you want it to go right inside, right at the bottom of the tray there. Flip it over and just put a pencil mark. Okay, take that out. So everything below that pencil mark is where I need to glue. So again, you don't want to go too crazy. Most glues work better when you use a small amount. Okay, so again, that was my front, that one. Forgot which one I was using. Again, slide that back in, right down inside, pop it on its side, and just again spread that out. Okay, like so. You can see it looks nice from the back. Then with your acetate one, you want to do exactly the same, and that's going to go in the front. Okay, like that. So exactly the same way as that, but it's going in the front. Now you don't want to use wet glue with your acetate because it just won't stick. So I'm using my red tape. Now this is the 1/2 inch red tape, and I know that a couple of strips of this hang on, let me remember, actually I do need to just put a marker. I'm just going to do a little tiny little impression. Just put a little impression in the acetate, you can just see it there. So I know that that's my kind of mark. And line it up with my grid just so I can get it straight. Like so. Again, make sure you get all your bubbles, air bubbles out, so it's all nice and stuck. Pop another piece just to cover the middle. Okay, and then again, kind of go in, if you arch it like that, and then you can kind of go in right up to the edge and the sides, right at the bottom. You make sure you get it all in because you want to make sure you stay nice and straight. And again, inside, make sure you get all of the air bubbles out. Okay, so now that is what you should have, your acetate there and this piece on the back. Okay. Next we need to attach this piece. So what I've already gone ahead and done is you just want to curve the card, okay, like so. And then you want to, inside you want to add tape or adhesive to 1 inch on each end. So this is 1/2 inch thick. So I'm just doing 2 side by side. So that end, and then again at this end. Okay, and then again we need to pop a couple of holes. So this inside piece now should be 3.5, which mine is. Okay, so I've got a 3.5 section there. So put a pencil mark at halfway, which is 1 3/4. So just about there. Okay, and then I'm just going to roughly eyeball that end as well. You can draw a pencil in here because no one's going to see it. You can see that I've just got a pencil mark through the centre, and then you want to add 2 holes. So again, coming in about 1/2 inch right on that line. 1, 2. Okay, so now if I turn it over, we've got our hole punched pieces there. So now I'm going to add some of my eyelets. So I've got white ones here. So I need two for this piece and 2 for this piece. You don't need to put any on here, you can if you want, but because it's plastic and acetate, it's already very strong. One over there. So I'm going to pop that one in there, that one in there, and then it's those two, okay, and then again with the back here, and it just helps the risk really of it ripping your card. So it's just a nice little touch as well. I always think adding things like this just make it, yeah, it just looks like it's really professional and almost shop brought. So now we just need to stick this piece on. So grab my poker tool, just take your backing off, okay, and then you just want to use your tape as your guide really. So if I turn, you're sticking it on the front of the acetate. So here's the front of my box, this is the front of the acetate. So I'm flipping it over now and I'm just lining up my acetate with my sticky tape, just making sure you get a nice even side. So you've got the acetate, you know, it's not coming out over the side, so it's nice and straight. Again, make sure that's all stuck down. And then now this one, kind of have to go in from this side because look, I can see the tape there, so I'm going to stick it. But can you see what I'm doing? So there's the front, it's coming up and around and it's sticking behind this here. So I'm just going to very carefully line it all up. There we go. So now we've just created a case all the way around, and you should have these right at the top, which they are, and then the other two inside ready for our ribbon to go through and be fed through to the front here. So now I'm going to grab my ribbon, grab one of these, pop an extra bit of glue on these because I just think it definitely stays in place. I was so pleased these matched, like I said, matched the paper perfectly. There we go, be mine. I'm going to pop this ribbon in half. So, oh, these scissors have got a bit sticky now. I know. My other ones, I can see them, but they're just out of reach, so it's my own fault. This ribbon is 14 inches. So I'm going to thread through the top first, and then the bottom. Thread the other one through as well. So you're going to, everything's inside, so on the bottom, and then you just want to tie a knot. So I'm just going to knot twice. Try and keep it as close to the edge so you're not losing the length of the ribbon, like so. And then I'll just trim off. You can, burn the edges as well if you just want to keep it. Oh, put my scissors. If you wonder how to clean scissors, I use Surgical Spirit and it brings them up perfectly. So once I've just wiped that with some Surgical Spirit, it'll be fine. But yeah, red tape and your nice scissors do not go. So now when I pull that ribbon through, you've got the knot inside, which no one's going to see. And you've got a really nice handle. I'll just turn that around a little bit. There we go. And then this one, you want to pop it from the back. You're going to go through one of your holes there, and then this one, and through the back, like so. Hopefully I've got enough spare. Grab your bottle, pop it in, and then you're going to go up again through the front of the acetate, and again the other side, and then bring it in. You want it to kind of dip down because it's, that's what's going to hold everything in place. And I'm hoping I've got enough ribbon now to make my bow. I think I'm just going to do it. That was just the right amount because I'm out now of this ribbon. So I will tidy up my edges off camera because I just need to play about with it a little bit. But there you go. You can see now. And that bottle isn't going anywhere because this is the piece that's holding the neck of that bottle in place. And because it's the acetate, look how nice it looks. It's just got such a great profile. I just love it, and because you've decorated the bottle and you've added that as well, it just ties it all in really nicely. But now I've got two very nice gifts. Inexpensive again, these bottles were £2.50 each, so that is such a nice gift, and like I said, this will be perfect for all through the year. I can see these on the Christmas table. What a nice little gift to do, you know, if you're having a little gathering and these are the gifts for everybody. I just think they're lovely. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I've inspired you again. I'm loving seeing all of your versions of what I've been making. So again, as I always say, if you haven't joined, do pop over to Mixed Up Crafters on Facebook. It's a group that I've got, and it's really, really good fun. So I'd love to see your versions of these. So until tomorrow, hope you've enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you have, and subscribe to my channel so you get to see more. Thanks for watching. Bye.